What's the deal? What's the deal? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? All right, give it a sec. We on a new platform. We on this Streamlabs, this Melon. Trying it out. Seeing what's what. Oh, that's dope with the little background. Yeah, we gotta. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm learning. I'm learning. Matter of fact, I gotta change that. Hold on. Design. I'm learning all this stuff. We want to update. It's not the wake up. It's Big Fish Talk. Big Fish Talk live. All right, there we go. Yo, there's so many cool things you could do in this melon. Um, let's talk about Ja. Which all right, let me see if that works. Oh, the ticker's not. Come on now. Where the ticker at? All right, well, I thought the ticker would work. All right, it is what it is. I'll play around with this later. We shall figure all this stuff out. But yeah, I'm really feeling this new studio. You see my little background, my Caribbean background. Matter of fact, let me now go so I can go into the Mevo app. This is y'all gotta. So all this stuff is real cool to use. So I can go into the Mevo app. I'm going to focus on. Does it have to be okay? There we go. All right. Excuse me. All right, we're locked in. We are locked in with Big Fish Live. Big Fish Talk Live. We've never done. Well, we've done a Big Fish Talk Live. We did one on with your girl Ebony K. Right? Cancel that. Reset position. All right, yeah, we good. We're good. I'm looking at it from the other page. The only thing in here is you can't see. Can you see the chat? I'm just testing this out. Welcome. Okay, so you do see the chat, so I can control the chat. So the only thing that you really don't see on this one is how many people are actually in the chat. But I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. You could change the designs. You could do all types of stuff, cool stuff. As y'all saw, I had the video earlier with the countdown. Got that popping. Oh, what does this do with the green screen? No, no, no. I don't want to mess with that. I ain't trying to mess with that. No green screen. All right, so boom. As long as I can see the chat, I'm good. So what's up with y'all, man? We talked yesterday about Ja Morant. Wanted to come on live to have the convo with y'all and also see if we can start playing around with this. Oh no, I can see how many people. Okay, so I can see how many people. Boom. Who's in the chat? Is it just Kamari and I? Because then I could just mess around with it a little bit more. If it's just OG Mar and yo, I like this. All right, I just gotta figure out how to work it. That's the thing. Once I figure this thing out, it's over. Over. All right, sharing 1080p. Can you share different things? Let's see. Background audio, video. Um, okay, so you could share different things. All right, so we're gonna talk about Ja. All right, OG Mar. It looks really clear, right? Like this is dope. This is something new. This is something new. This is something new. So I'm trying to figure out how you can go about like doing the screen share. Oh, yes, you don't even have to share everything. This is fire. Yeah, I'm looking at all the back end stuff. So I can share certain things. Um, but I don't even have to share like it's not like I have to share the entire screen. This is fire. This is fire. Oof. All right. Yo, Mar, I feel like calling you. Yo, Mar. All right, we're gonna use this as a tester. It's only us two in here. Um, maybe I want to see if I can add you as a member. I'm gonna send you an email. heyrichie15 at gmail.com. I think that's it. For some reason it didn't let me. Oh, yo, all right. So see if you can access what I just sent you. Nah, you ain't got to jump on. You ain't got to jump on. Yo, I'm just saying you can always have the camera off, or it doesn't have to be pointed at you. I just want to test this out. Let me wrap my hair. Oh, so check your email. Check that link, not the link that I text you, because the link that I emailed you, that's for a member rather than I'm a guest. So I want to see how that works. Yes, sir. Kamari Richardson joined. That's what I just heard. Um, how do I see? Yo, this
Okay.
is fire.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see the camera.
Okay. Good.
This is fire.
Oh wow. Okay. Hold on. Does it look as clear on your on my end? Yours just looks really clear.
Yeah, yours looks. I'm also using a different camera though,
Oh, okay. I'm using my phone.
but yours still does look clear.
Okay. Good.
Back that way.
Oh wow. This is nice.
Yo, it's a dope little look, right?
Yeah, and you can see the chat. Okay, you can see the chat from here as well.
Yep, I'm looking at the chat.
Mhm.
Yo, shout out to if you're here, we're just going over some stuff. We may dive into, we still gonna dive into John Morant, but we're on a new platform. So the best way to test it out is to test it out. A
Mhm.
matter of fact, if you're a guest, whoever else is in the on the live, if you want to help us out a little bit, I can send you a link. Matter of fact, yeah, let's see if we could put the link. All right, yo. So whoever this is, do us a favor and use that link that I just sent and see if it works for bringing you in as a guest.
Mm. Oh, yeah, you can share stream. Let me see. Copy stream link. Let me see if I can send it to. Now I'm gonna go out and see if I can send it to somebody and let me know if it stops my camera. Hold on.
Yeah, it stopped your camera.
Okay. Can
Yeah,
you hear me
stop.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so
So,
whoever that third person is, okay, nobody's there now.
you know, scared them. They're like, hell no.
Yeah, they like, bro, fuck you talking about? And I think you see, I can switch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yo, we live. Yo, this the new platform. Forget all that Riverside. Riverside is over, baby. It's over, baby. I want my bread back. That is
Mm-hmm.
a wrap. Nah,
Was this one expensive or no?
no, I think it's like 10 a month. The one that I got 9 a month.
Oh, okay.
But Riverside, see the thing about Riverside, I gotta figure this out because Riverside is dope because it records like separate audios.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a benefit, and each video has like a separate track. So Riverside is dope. Riverside is dope. I would keep Riverside, I think, more for interview purposes. But damn, if I could
Mm-hmm.
do it on here, I don't know. Like this is, I'm feeling this right here.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the camera. I just like the clarity a lot. And I mean, I like it's simple. It doesn't seem hard to figure out.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
Riverside, I felt like maybe it was like all that uploading and then like get back on the upload.
And I'm gonna share my screen with you so you can see the same thing that I'm seeing.
Oh,
Um,
wow, yeah, that's cool.
like like literally when you want to put a video, can you see my screen or you can't see what I'm clicking
I can
on?
see you. I can see you.
What I'm clicking
I
on?
mean, I can't see your screen. I just see your face.
All right, so you see on the side where it says video. Well, if you on your, I don't know if you can see it on your
I'm on
phone,
my phone.
but like you just literally click videos. They'll have like a bunch of different videos you can go from, and we could put. And it automatically mutes your microphone. You could
Oh,
put
yeah.
like it's fire, right? Yo, to the third person, we need y'all to yo, whoever's in the chat, we need y'all to do us a favor. All right, we want to
Hop on just so we can
yeah, just
learn.
hop on. You don't have to put your video on or anything like that, but we're trying a new platform and we really want to see if y'all messing with it or not.
Send it
So,
to Bez and text. Just send him just send him the link.
yeah. Hold on, let me see.
Like, get out here.
Yeah, let me text him.
Oh, man. Late nights and early mornings. This is ghetto.
You be all right, player. You'll
Right.
be all right, player.
Yeah.
Yo, if you're in the building, do us a favor and click that link. Like, let us know if you can see the link. We're on a new platform, so if you can help us out a little bit, click that link and let us see what you let us know what you see. Maybe I can get it from my try on my other phone. Hold on, I'm about to just try it myself since y'all
Right. Oh, from
playing
here.
around.
Something else.
Yeah, since they playing around, since they don't want us to be great. All right,
They
let me see.
shy. See
Since
all
they
this
don't
sweat
want us to
word.
be great.
Look crazy.
Hold on. All right, let me see how I do this. I go to live, click into the live.
All right, let me see how I do.
Oh, sounds. All
Is it
right, let me
working?
see. I'm pressing it now. Google Chrome. All right, so you gotta do all this login stuff. See, that's the thing I don't like.
Well, if you have It count. Maybe once you locked in, you're locked in.
Hmm. Yeah, so I can't do it from my phone. Yo, if you're with us,
I'm gonna do it from my laptop in a minute. I'm just looking for my slippers. The heezy.
worry about them damn slippers. Yo, your boy John Morant, man.
So this is my question though. Has he made a statement? Like, has he said anything?
I don't know. There's really nothing for him to say.
I just want like the right person to be like, my boy, what is wrong with you? Because at this point, we don't want to hear, sorry, I made a mistake. What is wrong with you? Like, that's
You
the
know,
only question I have. What is wrong with you?
you know what's so funny? So one of the shittiest parts about sports, I feel like, especially like football and stuff. So when you play football, you can't play it like after you're done playing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like something where it's just like basketball, where it's like, yo, we're gonna go to the Y, we're gonna get a game. Like nobody's putting on pads and meeting at the park and playing football.
Right.
So you're also like the thing with sports in general is even if you reach a high level, sometimes you're not able to kind of use those skills to teach. Like when you become an attorney and reach a certain level, like it benefits you to reach that level where you can, benefit financially for years to
Right.
come. But with sports, you know, unless you're coaching or something like that, you can't necessarily do that. But you get this expertise. So the expertise is not just with the on-field stuff, but it's with knowing how to navigate sports and like knowing how to navigate being an athlete, how to train,
Right.
how to avoid certain dangers, whatever, BS situations. Why not these teams hire former players to guide the younger players? Now, they may have one person on the team that's kind of responsible for this type of stuff, but
Okay.
why not implement like a big brother program to where you have guys like former guys that you're matching with certain players, so that way, they can you can even give them a salary. It would be worth it to me. They probably play better as well. To me,
Yeah.
I'd hire
I feel like
former
there's some
former
pressure.
players. Yeah, I'd hire former players to just help counsel and guide the young ones
Right.
because clearly this dude, man, he needs something.
Yeah, it's just like is the person that's holding the camera like, yo, if you don't take this picture, like I'm gonna shoot the shit out of you. Like, I'm just wondering, like, what is
Yeah,
the pressure to do this? Like, because in my mind, at 24, you're not a kid. You know what I mean? Like, you're young, but you're not a kid to where like money matters at that age. You get what I'm saying? Like you know what you're up against. You understand the value of how much money you're up against. And even if it's not about the money, if you love the game, if you love the privileges that come with being an NBA player, what what is like what's that's really like what is wrong with you?
yeah,
Like he just needs like somebody to really ask him, like, I don't want to hear nothing else. What's the problem? Like, and it should be his mother, but what the hell? But sometimes, parents can't control their kids either. I don't know. But it's just unfortunate. So I'm joining from my phone. I mean, from my computer just to see.
oh, I should have. I'm over here tripping. You can hear me? Your mic just went out. I was like, damn, did she just stop talking or did her mic go out? You heard me? Your mic's out. Oh, it's because you put it on mute.
I didn't mean to.
Oh, oh, that's cool. So yeah, so that's pretty easy now. Only one is on mute. Hold on, both are on mute.
So
Take the what and leave the what?
Okay. So this is better. But yeah,
So
it's
now,
really,
hold on. Am I in?
what do you say?
How come it's not letting me in?
I hear you. Let me
No,
go to
I'm
YouTube.
talking about on the other. Oh wait, yeah, I guess I am in because I'm on through that. Hold on.
And you know what? If you're in the same email, maybe it'll only show one picture. So I logged in from my computer, which is ultimately the same email as my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if you log in from like a different email.
All right, let me see. Because this email is still the one I believe that's associated with. I don't know. Hold on. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah, let me put my glasses on. uh, yeah, but it's unfortunate. And it's unfortunate because like there's no way that this could really turn out good for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the possible? And like, say they just drop you and be like, and no other team is like interested. What is your plan after that?
It's a wrap, bro.
And how much money does he already have? And who's gonna want to endorse you for anything future? Like, you would almost have to be like, I got baptized and I gave my life to whatever, and now I'm living the straight and narrow life. Like, you're gonna have to go that far to even get yourself back in the good graces of people to even like trust you again. Like you got to do something drastic.
Nah, that's for real. Oh wait, oh, he definitely got to do something drastic. Yo, how does this? Oh wait, show on stream. Yo, we live, man. Check us out. Yo, we got the different angles. All right, so now we know how to do it. This is dope.
But yeah, this is really unfortunate. And then it's like unfortunate. Like I want
Hold
just
up,
as
peep the
much as,
screen. Peep the screen.
huh? Oh, okay. Triple
Can you see
threat.
both of us?
I can see all three of it. Yeah.
All right, so let me get out of here. Leave. Yo, so it's that easy to jump on.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where we at from now on. This is where we at.
Right.
Damn. All right, we figured this out. You know what I want to see? I want to see
Like
if it works with multiple like these Mevos, but no, I don't really.
multiple what?
These cameras, like using multiple. Like
Okay, so what kind of camera you got though?
it's a bunch of those small. Here, I'll show you.
Listen, don't tell me because now I'm gonna be acting up. Let me know. Let me know. Right? Gotta get my morning right.
Hold on, cause I got the headphones on. So it's a bunch of these cameras. They're called Mevos.
Okay. Oh, okay. That was the one. Okay.
But I want to see if it works with the multiple, the multicam. Because if it does, then these the ones where I'm like, man, I'm sending these shit back.
Yeah. And don't forget
I
to
want to
tell me
send.
send it back
Oh
in.
yeah, yeah, definitely still got to send that back. That's out. That's
Okay.
definitely cool.
It's cold today. What the hell? Chicago is like wilding. Like this is out of line now. It is.
Chicago.
don't love you much. Don't love you know. They're gonna be like, what are y'all even talking about this morning? We're
Word, I
like,
keep checking to see if people on. Yo, we're just trying some stuff out, so bear with us. We mixing that in with Ja
this is the
fumbling the
behind the
bag.
scenes. This is the process.
Yeah, the
So when we blow
BTS.
up overnight, you'll be like, oh shit, I remember.
Like a word, I remember them. Yeah, they was doing their thing. Yeah, you remember. You were there. Um,
Ooh, okay.
all right, let's see how this thing actually works.
All right, I feel a little better now. I feel a little more alive. Even though.
All right, so I think you can only do this. The camera has to get connected.
And does he
All right,
not?
so no, that's cool. Huh?
I got a question. So, okay, obviously he probably can't carry. So
Nah, he
is
can carry.
he can?
Yeah, I mean, he's in Memphis, so they probably got loose rules. He could probably. I mean, it's not that he has an illegal gun. That's not the problem.
Well, no, I'm just wondering now, like that we're like diving into it. Like, is it illegal or is it legal for him specifically? Like, you know
It's
what I mean?
illegal to be that dumb. That's
If
what is
I'm
illegal.
20, if I'm 24 and I'm thinking like in my mind, like, how do I justify? Because you know, when you're 20 something, you want to justify your bullshit, right? So if he's like, you know, I can legally carry, this is my gun, like it's legal that I have it. Why are y'all worried if I like if I'm dancing with it? I'm not gonna shoot nobody. Like, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
you're playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. I'm just trying
Okay.
to understand, like, because that's the part where like I really that's my only question for him is like, what is your thought behind doing this. You know what I mean? The first time, okay, cool, you got caught up with your friends. Second time, what the what are you doing, bro?
Yo, the second time, even his homie, like right after he like, cause he was his homie was on live driving, I guess, or I don't
Oh,
know, and he flashed over to Ja, and then Ja flashed the gun, and then his homeboy like held the phone to his chest, like like trying not to like, bro, like you're bugging, like that type of thing.
right.
So I don't know. Ja's like,
That's the part where I'm trying to understand. Like, if he like, I don't care, this is mine. Like, you know, like I don't know, you know.
it's
And
cool. He just need to get he about to get humbled though. He about
this
to
should
get
be
humbled.
like no going live when we chilling. Like
Yeah.
no phones. You
But
know.
even so, so the video that I put up yesterday, the title was, I believe the title was um John Morant is an idiot, but so are the rest of us.
Mhm.
And Ja, we're over here talking about Ja fumbling the bag, right? And we're saying that he's a dummy because he was given such a big bag and he's about to lose it. But he has a bigger bag to lose. Like he can afford to lose more. And I tend to look at it as if, why do we care more about Ja losing the bag rather than these little homies who are never going to get the bag? They're never going to get to the NBA, never going to get to the NFL. The majority of these little homies growing up in the inner city, but they're fumbling their life. You know what I'm saying? Ja's fumbling the bag. They're fumbling their life just based on growing up in these type of environments when they accept this hip hop culture, this black culture that we've created that is just a destructive culture. So they're fumbling their lives away. Ja's fumbling the bag away. But it seems that we care more about Ja fumbling the bag away than we allow our younger generations to fumble their lives away. What you think about that?
Well, I think, you know, when we see someone black make it to some degree or make it to that level of success, we're like, all right now, like, come on, hold it down, hold it, you know, everybody has that mentality around it. And it's like, come on, you young, you got the opportunity to really change your life. You have the opportunity to do what a lot of people can't do. And so I think you know, that's where that energy comes from. The boys in the trance listen to right.
You know, they be listening to that young boy. Yo, cats be really thinking they with all the shits when they listen to Young Boy, Dirk,
Right.
21. Bro, that's not your life. Relax.
Yeah, and I think the music definitely does influence it, but it's just like for him, I think just people we are all looking at it like, come on, don't mess this up, don't mess this up. And when it comes to money, because that is what we probably value the most, is that money, that opportunity. But it's just unfortunate that you said he has parents, right? Yeah. So it's just unfortunate that like
He has parents.
we're like there's a bunch of kids out here who are living that lifestyle, like you said, that are never going to make it to that degree, but they actually, not to say they have a reason, but what we hear on the songs they actually see in everyday life. Like if I think about these kids who are in Chicago, like, and who they see and who they look up to versus like just the song, it's a whole different influence. So it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, Queez wrote, gotta stop making it cool. Yo, when it stops being cool, that's the only way to stop this stuff. It's the only way to stop this stuff is if we have a cooler alternative. Because if we don't have a cooler alternative, then people are gonna forever chase that aspect of coolness that they don't feel that they have. Like, let's say it's almost like that 80-20 rule or 20-80 rule. You know what I'm talking about? Where like most of the time in a relationship, you'll really only get 80% of what it is you're looking for, but you'll go search for that 20% in, let's say, another woman. But when you get that 20% along with your 80, it feels like everything. But
Right.
you don't want to mess up your, you over here entertaining, trying to, be greedy and have everything, but then you can compromise messing up the 80. Then you left with just 20 and you sitting there looking crazy. But when you only have 80, that extra 20 to get to that 100, like it looks like everything. It's the same thing with Ja. Ja, when it comes to being cool, like let's like categorize it. So he's probably like cool. And this is as far as like, this is the black, I don't know, the black cup being full, the
Right.
cool cup, the black cool cup. So he can only get to like a certain percentage because some of the
Mhm.
things that we regard as cool are the gangster stuff, whether it's, him trying to throw up neighborhood like he's 60s or stuff like that,
Right.
him wanting to throw up like show his guns, all this other stuff. So he feels that he's capped out with just being a dope basketball player, let's say at 70% or 80%, whatever his perception of it is. To some people, it's like, yo, I'm the coolest dude in the world just where I'm at. I'm good. My cup is full. For him, he clearly feels that his glass is not full off just being a cool basketball player that can dance on the court and stuff. So he's looking at that other 30% of the cup that he wants to fill. And he's just trying to concentrate on filling that, but not even realizing that he's spilling the other 70% or whatever else that was in the cup. But when you're cool, when you only have the 70, that other 30 looks so good that you're gonna try to venture off and embrace it. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully that made some sense.
What? No, it makes sense. So where's he from?
I don't know. Good
Yeah.
question. Let's look up where Josh from.
Trying to investigate everything because I'm just like, okay, so here's the thing. If you're not even like really from a neighborhood like that, or you're really not like that guy, like what makes you think you can't get touched by somebody who really is? Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is the part where it's like you are ultimately playing with your life too, because somebody may look at him like you a dummy and I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? Like you out here throwing stuff up and throwing neighborhoods up. If that's not how you really get down, or if that's not who you are outside of, or that's not what you were raised in, you playing. You playing. You playing. I'm sure, and I don't know gang related stuff based off of movies and things like that, but you're playing and these people, this is their real life. This is that the gang stuff they throw up. Like somebody could really be like, oh, that's what you represent, this is what you do. Then like, okay, you play with guns, me too. And catch him slipping since he riding around in cars and doing all that. It's like you playing with your life ultimately as well. And it's like, it's unfortunate. It's like almost when I think about I don't know if I should say this, but you know how like we come from like Montclair, right? So a lot of people look at it as, oh, that's a suburb, it's a nice area. And like either girls have an obsession with dudes from down the hill, or like we always like, oh, okay, we want a North dude or East Orange dude, and it's just like, like, you're not even raised like that to be somewhere on Central Avenue trying to look cute, looking crazy, like. But that's just my opinion. But I just think that
Y'all boogers.
right, you know what I mean. But listen, I'm not gonna say I didn't think that that was cute at one point in time either, but it was just like you hanging around in places that you really just don't belong. You know what I'm saying? Like, if my grandparents would have known some of the streets I was on or something, they would have lost it. So it's like, if you're not really like that, and when stuff really comes down to, somebody checking you, come on, bro. You outside playing with your life. And people punk him, and people
Yeah.
punk him because they jealous of that opportunity. Like, you can really get off just because somebody's jealous of the opportunity. It's really sad. I swear.
Yeah.
It makes
Oh,
some.
and he's from Dalzell, South Carolina.
I don't know shit about South Carolina.
Dalzell.
Makes them delusional. Yeah, it doesn't. Listen.
What a quiz, right? Yo, and we can show the things on the screen now.
Right.
Like, yo, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy because there's some ball players that actually come from that, like how we and that don't exactly. It's like when you get the opportunity to pivot, which is the year of the word for me. When you get the opportunity to pivot, you need to take it. Like, don't look back. Like, donate if you need to look back. You know what I mean? I mean, not to just, I don't really always subscribe to the free turkey shit, but do what you need to do to support your neighborhood from a distance, So,
Yeah. Give some veggies, not no turkeys. But to what Quee said, yeah, there's a lot of players. It's like the players that actually do come from that, Kawhi, DeRozan, even like a guy like Marcellus Wiley, they don't like if you looked at them now, you wouldn't necessarily associate them with living that type of life because they don't feel the need to go there because they come from it. So they're just like, yo, that's like I see the negatives of it as well. So he just sitting here just acting like he's like life is just a music video compared to when the cameras are off and what's the day to day like. And the dude, is this cat, one of Nipsey's homie named Brick Baby. And he was talking about it and he's just like, yo, like what's up with him? Like basically saying like, yo, you're bugging. He was what was he referring? He's like, yo, first off, you throwing up neighborhood and all this other stuff, 60s. You're not giving us no bread. So what you want to get extorted for the rest of your life? Because that's what's gonna happen. Like you keep throwing up our stuff. Like we're gonna extort you for the rest of your life as long as you throwing that up. And he was mentioning that like I guess with Draymond, because Draymond I guess throws it up sometimes, but Draymond is actually in their neighborhoods, giving back, providing support. So they don't necessarily look at it like that. But he's looking at it like, yo, y'all want to, he said, yo, you know what? You want to be 60s? All right, call me up. Let's meet up. Let's meet, let's hang out. Let's hang out. No beef or nothing, but let's hang out. Like, because he's basically saying, like, when you chill with us and the homies, you're not gonna want to be around that type of energy all day. You only like being around a certain aspect of it when it's glorified, when it's a music video, when it's on live or whatever. But a day-to-day aspect of it, you're not trying to live that. And we're not trying to live that. So
yeah,
that's what he was saying.
yeah, and that's exactly what it should be. Like, that's what, because it's almost like scared straight. Like, what is going to scare you into the position that you're supposed to be in? And it's really just sad. I also wonder, like, he don't got no girlfriend. Like who is the person that is talking to him?
Yo,
Like,
everybody in his life is feeding into it. Like even his moms. I told you yesterday, his moms, like your parents should be doing things to keep you out of trouble. Like his
right.
mom getting into arguments with like people at finish liners, some sneaker store, somebody selling sneakers. She feels disrespected. She calls Ja. Ja comes up there with 8 dudes allegedly, whatever. And it's like, bro, like
This is why.
know who you are. Like understand the situation that you're in. And like it's petty. Like you arguing with like he literally. This was the story, and I may have heard this totally wrong, or it may just not be true. But the fact that his mom called him and then he came up there with like 8 people the sales dude who I guess was going back and forth with his mom, supposedly ended up locking himself in the back like room or whatever because he was scared, or she was. I'm assuming it was a dude. He was scared that Ja and them, they trying to beat down the door, chase him all the way in the back, and it's like Ja talking about wait till you get off work. Like, bro, relax. Like, you play
Yeah, like,
basketball. Like, it's
why are you
cool.
practicing? Why are you not training? Like, why are you not resting? Like, what
And
are you?
his dad's childish as shit too. Like how he be coming across. His dad looks childish. Like his dad looks childish. Like his dad's the same dude that arguing with Shannon Sharp at a game. Like, bro, relax. Like, be an example.
Okay, so okay, I remember that video.
Yeah, like, but be an example. Like, of what you kid. Like, what are you arguing with Shannon Sharp for? Like, first
People,
off, you don't want any real smoke with him. Like, let's be honest. like off rip. Let's be real.
right?
And like, so what's the point of even like, yo, enjoy the game?
You go back down at all. um,
Like,
the problem is that did they ever come from any type of money where they like got on and now they are who they are?
I can't even say. I
Yes.
can't even say.
But I'm like, I need to know like everything because I'm like, if you didn't come from that and now you get a couple of dollars and you just your whole family acting like this is the reason why them people who are fighting for black people not to get reparations, like this is why. When they're like, people don't know how to act with money, or you know what I mean? Like certain things like when you're like, okay, if we put I want to word this correctly, but when we put certain money and things into certain people and neighborhoods and different things, it's like if you don't understand how to value and appreciate the money, the opportunity, and this is what happens, it's like people tend to be like, nah, we don't even deal with that. Or, this is where like we got to come back to the drawing board and change the rules. You know what I mean? Like rules now need to be changed based off of like how he does things for maybe younger players. So now they may be a little more tight on curfew if that's a thing, or they may be a little more tight on restrictions. And now you guys can't have social media. Like because if I was a coach and I had to come back to the drawing board, there needs to be certain things in place to where like y'all can't do this anymore because this happens because of this
Mm-hmm.
person. And so then maybe that pressure may, fall on him. But it would be like no social media, no hanging out after 6. Like it would be so many strict rules. But then also it's just like I also feel like then get rid of him because obviously he doesn't want the opportunity. Obviously he doesn't want to. I don't know how good of a player he is, but it would almost be like just get rid of him then. Either tighten up on the rules and the restrictions of what he can and cannot do, or get rid of
Yeah.
him. If he's that good, then but
Nah, they ain't gonna get rid of him. They'll get him on the discount. Or if Memphis gets rid of him, somebody else get him on the discount. Um, yo,
are
he's
they?
like, you know what he is? You know what he really is? Not to, and matter of fact, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but he's like the Odell Beckham. When it comes, I'm just talking about influence. Oh, not getting in trouble at all. Like, not at all saying Odell gets in trouble like that. But to these young ones, to the young kids and stuff, he's very influential. Like how everybody wanted to, wear their hair like Odell, run routes like Odell, like all these young kids. Ja is very much like that. I don't think it's to the extent that Odell is, because Odell just like on another level to me. But he has that type of impact among
Yeah.
these young kids.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he's like, yeah, I mean, he's got his own sneaker. Not too many guys got their own sneaker.
Oh, and
He's
that's why that dad was like, we taking that sneaker.
Oh
Like,
yeah, he said yeah, and I feel him, yo.
got it.
And that's yo,
Not,
that Michael Wilbon. Can we get that on here? Matter of fact, I should. We showing it on here. Hold
let's
on.
test it out.
Let's test it out.
Yeah, that would be a no. It would be like we burning this, and y'all gonna see me throw it out. I can cry about it, but listen, we gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
This is not a leader. This is not somebody you follow behind. This is not somebody that you should be inspired by right now. It's
Is it like? Are we allowed to play this? I guess we'll find out. Can we play? I don't think we can play it. Can we?
I think you should try. It's not music.
But I don't know if you can play like other people's videos.
I mean, it's Hollywood Unlocked, I believe, right? So it shouldn't be.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Mhm.
Or let me just see if I could. Mark got me nervous. Hey, it is what it is, right? Just try it.
Yeah. But I think we should be okay. But again, like he said, even if we can't do it, but like, yeah, we're not having no Gatorade by him, not having no shoes by him. Like, no, he's wilding.
Yeah. All right. So how do I do this? Send this to. I'm gonna send it to you, and then I'm gonna open up my Instagram over here.
You should say, send it to me so I could be the one to knock us
Nah,
out.
nah, I'm gonna send it to you because I gotta save it. I can't send it to myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to be able to access it. Uh,
Yeah.
Relax, OG Mar.
And it sucks because some music is just catchy. It's a vibe, but you just got to be able to be like, yo, like just sing the song, but don't live the song. And when they're young, it's like, I don't know, man.
Yo, my pigeon is back.
Oh,
Yeah, I went out on the porch and there was pigeons on there. Like, yo, these pigeons. This may be the same. I'm trying to think. Is this the same one that I saw in Miami?
moved. Like I want to
Huh?
say, like or two before I moved, there were like pigeons just like by my window nonstop. So maybe you're about to go through a transformation in life.
I'm going through it. They just these pigeons just on me. They
They're
gotta
there
chill.
for you.
They
Even though
on me, huh?
I hate like if there was ever an animal that like I would not fuck with, it's a pigeon and a raccoon. But like I since that happened to me by my window, I realized that like maybe okay they were there to protect you through the transformation and blah blah blah. So I guess if you change your perspective, is there a nest there? Maybe there's a nest and there's a baby.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, there's
Do I have
light
to do the
for your
whole
eyes. A brand new
share
light.
the whole window? Uh, you can
Oh,
hear them actually.
I can
You can see my screen.
um I can see it from the back end, but I can't see it from the YouTube view.
Okay. All right. Let me try this.
We're learning, guys. But put in the chat, what do you think should happen? Okay, there we go. We can't hear it, but I can see it.
Let me turn the volume up.
It's like very low.
Hold on. It's low. All right. Let me turn it up. Bear with me. Yo, another pigeon. Is it loud?
Let me see what it sounds like on
Did we already watch the whole thing?
I was trying to see if I could hear it from my computer, but it was doing something
I was
stupid.
trying to see if I could hear it from my.
Okay. But I guess we can just go over pretty much what he was
Y'all get it.
yeah. Like he was just saying he was not going to his allow his kids to support his shoes, his Gatorade, or any endorsements that he had based off of what happened and the decisions that God made.
They still out, and they keep coming outside. Yo,
Go
I
look.
feel like Mike Tyson out here, man. Like, yo, I've been on some Dr. Doolittle shit.
You
Feed
told
him.
us. See if
Yo,
there's a nest.
yeah, there's got to be.
Yeah.
There's got to be. I hit the. You never see? Oh, you don't know how to.
What is
Uh,
that? Like from some drug movie? Gangster movie?
yeah, probably. That's Training Day, I think. No, that's not Training Day. Well, it's Mike Tyson and the Training Day thing. You never seen Training Day?
Yeah. Yes.
So then they hit the little.
Yeah. Okay.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk to pigeons. That's it.
Go to get your money. Go tell them to send the.
These pigeons go get the bread. But yeah. So yeah, Michael Wilbon, what he just said is the key to everything. If we stop supporting stuff, then we'll force them to not, be putting out this type of garbage because we fund it. And that was the point that I made on my video that I put up yesterday. We promote it, we support it financially, and at the very least, we condone it by not speaking on it. So we typically tend to fall into one of those three categories, and it's on us, like because Ja, like I said, I don't really care about Ja. Like this is not about Ja for me. Like I don't care. Ja will be fine. He'll be fine whether he's fine or not, at least in my head. But what it is, or what I think it should do, is just highlight an issue that is just within our culture, that our culture is trash. And I know people like you don't like to hear people like me say that. Is that fair statement?
No, I think when you give reasons, it makes sense, right? But I think that I also come from this like optimistic, like hopeful kind of standpoint as well. But I agree in this instance, this is a problem. The music is a problem. But the music, people have been saying this for years. You know what I mean? Every generation has a problem with the next generation's music because it's a little more vulgar, a little more explicit, a little more, too crazy. And so now at this point, it's like it's the same thing over and over and over and over. People are losing their lives. People are losing, so hopefully this is an eye opener for artists. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if we're gonna cancel this guy's shoes and his Gatorade and all the endorsements that are attached to him, then we have to cancel the music that is influencing him to do this, as hard as it may be for us too. Because we're at an age where it's like we can listen to it and not necessarily be like influenced by it. But if we care enough about the next culture, if we care, I mean, not next culture generation, but if we care enough about the people beneath us, then yeah, we're gonna have to cancel it just like we canceled R. Kelly and cancel it the same way we canceling everybody else.
Are we? I know you said that we can listen to it without being influenced by it. I think that we're still influenced by it. We just don't believe it to the extent that we did as kids. Like we can decipher between what's good and what's not good, or what's positive and what's negative at our age. However, when we still listen to it, it still influences us.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
yes.
mean?
So yes, yes. So I will say you can listen to a sexy song and then it puts you in a mood or whatever like that. But I'm saying we're mature enough to would hopefully most of us at our age are mature enough to hear maybe a song talking about guns and like I mean I don't have a gun. So if I was listening to the same song he was listening to, it would only be just because I'm listening to it. But
But
yeah,
see, and I don't want it to be that people should not have guns. It's not about the fact of
no no
whether or
no.
not somebody has guns.
If
It's
you
about doing the dumb shit that
yeah,
he does with the guns. Like
right.
everybody's like every household, in my opinion, should own a gun. But
Right, for
you
safety and
know,
for and,
yeah,
and for those things, not to be like, oh, this ninja looked at me crazy, so we finna go on his block and scare like you whatever those songs say. I don't know. I don't really
yeah,
listen
that's how he's carrying it. He's carrying it around like he got to
like
tote something because somebody coming at him or he's about to do something. He's
I'm
associating himself
pop
with
my
young boy. Like you're not like these cats. Like so you associate yourself with young boy. You're flashing guns. What happens when you run into a cat like Dirk and all them OTF cats?
or somebody who
Like
really
what you standing on your allegiance with young boy. It's just like, yo, why even get into that? But you only get into that type of stuff when you're acting and behaving how he's acting. Like you could be, there's plenty of, I'm sure, en- entertainers and ball players that are cool with young boy, but because they don't glorify a particular life and show that they're that type of person in real life, then if they ran into whoever, even if it's one of young boys ops or whatever like that, even if it's like a Dirk, it's not going to be an issue. But when you're like glorifying this particular way of life, acting like you're really with it, like come on now, somebody like you said earlier is going to test that. Somebody's going to test that.
Right.
You a
Yeah.
bully? All right, let's play bully then.
Right. Just leave that music to the locker room and let it amp you up before you get on the field or whatever you play. Yeah, that's it.
And that's what it should be. It should just be, because sometimes you need that. It's funny. I was listening to like 19 Keys, and I was going back and forth with these as far as what music to listen to, and the most challenging time is when you're in the gym and you want to hear some ignorant music. Like
Yeah.
I'm sitting here listening. Next thing you know, I'm listening to King Von beat that body. Like you know what I mean? And it's like I can't get out of play. I can't give it a play because I can't, like when I give it a play, I almost want to say like, hey, don't put this towards, I don't want any money going towards this play. This is only for workout purposes. Like, you know what I mean? But you can't do that. A stream's a
Yeah.
stream. So it's like, I'm still supporting it. I'm still promoting it just as if somebody is actually outside listening to it, about to go on it's the same thing.
Yeah. A lot of people don't hold themselves to that level of
Yeah.
accountability.
Bro, he's a basketball. He's acting like he's a drill basketball player. Like, bro, you're not a drill rapper. Like, you're a pro basketball player. Like,
A
he
lot
the
to
type. See, he the type man. He the type person. I cut his hair off, man. Yo, that's the type of person. If you're the team owner, you would get in trouble for doing this, and people will call you racist and all this other stuff. Bro, you gotta cut your hair off. You got to cut your hair off. You got to change your image. You're not responsible enough to dress, clothe yourself, and to identify yourself as with your clothing and with your getup as a particular type of person. You're not responsible enough to do that to the point where it's not either leading you in a bad place or the people that you influence in a bad place. Cut his hair. He need to cut his hair.
My thing is,
Somebody need to make him cut his hair. Cut his
my,
hair.
how do you walk back around your teammates? Like you should feel stupid having to go to the locker room or having to go to a meeting around your teammates, around everybody. It's like you should feel dumb. You know what I mean? Like there should be some level of like, shame or whatever. But it's sad. It's sad. It's unfortunate. It's sad, and hopefully, you know, it'll all be made sense of. Which I really don't know how that's going to work out. But I really would love to hear what he has to say for himself, just for the sake of just wanting to understand like his logic behind it, and rather than his parents rally and support, like I would love to hear his mom be like, "I dug in that ass yesterday," whatever. But if she's just as ignorant, then I don't know. But
His mom ain't doing nothing for that. Like, if anything,
she ain't like, you about to fuck up this money. Like that's the part where I'm like,
yeah, she
you know,
ain't
she
doing
needs to be
nothing.
that. Like, boy, get your ignorant.
It's probably he acting like his mom, man. That's the whole point. He's responding to these problems like a female. And let me be clear. Let me see. This is
Don't
why,
turn my face up. What you mean?
like, he's responding to these problems like a female. Like he's not in control of
What
his emotions. That's what that means.
he's handling it in an emotional way.
And that's what I just said.
That's it. It don't gotta be female. But whatever. That's whatever.
Oh, Queez, tell Pops happy birthday. We'll see you tomorrow. Tell Pops, man, I love that guy. Happy birthday. Whole
See,
bunch of
it's been an hour. My professional it's,
oh shoot, it's already 9. I'm about to say, hold
it's
up, but
about
what was I just yo, hold on, I ain't gonna let Kamari change. No, he's responding to these situations like a female, like a man that was brought up to handle challenges and issues emotionally.
Women
And
don't
it
always.
just is what it is. Women don't yeah. Why is your response whenever I talk about women, your response is always women don't always. All women don't do this.
You make it seem like when you
Women
say
are hold on, let me ask you, are women more emotional than men?
sometimes, but here's the thing:
Oh my God. We're not being genuine.
you're always
We're
gonna
not
get.
being
I'm not. I'm,
come on.
but here's my thing:
Like, can you just answer the question truthfully?
business. Like I feel like it's almost like you when you say things like that, it's like a look like we're weak or like it's like we don't
No, you're saying it as weak, and that's the
women.
problem. The problem is you think of emotion, you think of it as something that's weak. No, it's just a fact that men are more logical, women are more emotional. In some ways that benefits women, in some ways it doesn't benefit. In some ways it benefits men to be more logical, in certain ways it doesn't benefit. It just is what it
For the
is.
sake for the sake of hearing you, I think that you could just say he's handling it in an emotional way. Not he's handling.
No, no, you want to know why you can't say that? You just said that his mom needs to step in and I just beat his ass. He's 24 years old and you on here talking
No,
about a mom needs to step in.
his ass like as in like really spoke
His
to
mom ain't doing shit. His pops needs to step in. This is not a mom issue.
everybody.
No, it's not everybody. And no, and if it was everybody, you didn't identify the pops. You only said the moms. So I'm responding to that. And I'm saying, no, the last thing he needs is his mom getting involved in this type of stuff. He needs a man and other men to sit him down and counsel him from a man's point of view because he's
Well,
behaving like an emotional female. He's getting emotionally entrenched into these situations rather than sitting back and approaching it from a logical standpoint, which is one of the biggest differences between a man and a woman. Now,
what
you like when I highlight certain things that women bring to the table that you see as positive, but you only tend to push back on the ones that you see as, oh, well, you're making it like you're saying it like we're weak. How is that saying it like you're weak?
if it doesn't make sense to me, then that's what I call out.
So
It's
what doesn't make sense?
highlight.
So what doesn't make sense?
You're saying he's handling it like a female, and
Are women more emotional than men?
I don't agree to what you just said, Dak. But we're not.
Hold on, time. No. This is a perfect example. Are women more emotional than men?
In some instances, yes,
No, overall.
yes, you could say that.
No,
But
no,
what,
it's not. Can you say that? Are women more? This is the disingenuous, these disingenuous conversations right here are the reason why people
what
can never get. Hold on, let me finish. These are the reasons why people can never get to a place and figure things out because as soon as a woman like you just now did hear something that they don't want to hear, you start to just, well, you start to lie, which is inherently what you're
it's
doing
not.
by you not clear, you know damn well that women are more emotional than men, and you know damn well that men are more emotional than women. Now, if you want to sit here and say like, oh well, there's one woman who's more logical than a man, we're
No,
talking about overall.
that's not what I'm saying.
So what are you saying?
When you said he's handling it like a female, so break that down. How is he handling it like a female? Break.
Females are more emotional. He's approaching these situations. When you're approached with a situation, a challenge, you have different ways to approach it. Some people get upset, they get angry, they tend to deal with it emotionally. Other people look at the reasoning behind it. They tend to look at things logically.
So
So,
what I
from a man perspective, a man tends to be more logical in their decision making. Women tend to be more emotional in their decision making. He's approaching everything from an emotional standpoint rather than reasoning and figuring out what makes logical sense. That how you
what
can't understand that? I'm confused.
what I'm asking is for examples. What is it that he's done? What responses has he given that were emotional?
Getting into a screaming match with little kids.
Okay.
Getting having somebody confront his mother and him going up there and threatening to beat the dude's ass. rather
So
than rather than addressing it from a logical standpoint, saying that I'm a man, not needing to go up there with 8 other men and just address the situation either directly with the person from a logical reasoning standpoint, like, hey, this isn't cool, can't do this with moms, or getting somebody else involved because that's not a situation that you should be dealing with in the first place. Everything that he does is super emotional. When he goes on, when he's amped up by a song and dancing and stuff, like, bro, all that's super emotional, bro. like
so
like every
that's what I'm just trying to understand. So women react like that.
women react with more emotion. So I'll give you an example. When something happens to y'all, let's say it could be on the job or something like that. We've had different conversations where you may be upset, crying and stuff like that, or just, this is just, oh my God, this is just too much. Where a man is just going to be like, bro, get your shit together. Like, figure what's the solution? Figure this out. What's the next step that you need to take? That's a more logical approach because we are just more logical beings. Women tend to be emotional, so they elicit emotions in their responses compared to men. And
I feel
that's why, matter of fact, that's why men are in the position that we are in right now, because all of our men are super emotional. That's why the Democrats got all this weak leadership with these men that can't even stand on when they ask the question about what is a woman, they can't even answer the question because they're just so soft. They're so soft and not just direct with certain stuff because men are weak right now.
and there's a lot of ego in that response that you said that he gave, more so to me. And I guess my question would be, what is the
Ego, explain what you mean.
like? I'm just
I don't
saying.
know. I don't have no idea what that means.
I'm, anyway,
Explain what you mean.
well, I was trying to give me a second.
You stopped talking. I didn't know.
No, because can I formulate my? See, this is the part, y'all. Okay,
Gotta be quicker than that.
so anyway, the example that you gave with how if something happens to me and I act emotional first, right? If I'm crying and this is behind the scenes and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go back to work or to the problem and confront it like that. I may need to be emotional first. Oh, okay. Yeah, let Bez talk. Uh,
Oh my God, Bez, why, Bez, can you
Uh,
hear me?
yeah.
Have you been listening to this conversation?
Nah, I just tuned in, bro.
Let me ask you a simple question.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Kamari, finish. Kamari, you go ahead and there's a chime in.
so what I was saying is, if I have an emotional response, that doesn't mean that I approach the problem or go back to whatever the problem is from an emotional standpoint. I can still handle things as clearly as I need to or as logically as I may need to. But yeah, as a woman, I may cry first, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to approach every situation from that standpoint. And so for him, like him feeling like, okay, I need to go to this finish line and cause havoc and do all these different things. I feel like it's more of like, I'm a man, I'm go fix it more than it is from a,
That
I'm,
ego, that's an emotional. That's the men and women have ego, but they're handled in different ways. He's still approaching his emotional aspect of his ego, like to where he just like a man who feels comfortable in his own skin, who
yeah.
doesn't feel threatened by a particular situation. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you don't
Ah,
feel the need
shit.
to 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 get emotionally involved. You just look at it from a standpoint where, nah, it's like I'm good. Like, hey, that's not affecting me. I'm not allowing that to affect my money. I'm not allowing that to affect my situation. I'm not allowing that to compromise my well-being. I'm not allowing that to put me in a position that could get me locked up or cost me a lot of bread. I'm not
But
putting myself in a position to where I got to lose a lot.
so women,
Women are always going to be triggered more emotionally than men.
I just, okay.
Men tend to be more logical. Women tend to be more emotional. These are part of the things that give you y'all superpowers. Like, but it's only when from a negative standpoint that y'all have an issue with it. When somebody points out the negative aspects of it.
No, I just
Rel, do you think men or women tend to be more emotional?
What's up, gang?
What's the
Over
deal,
here,
baby?
Baltimore, Maryland, man.
What's the
Turning up the
deal,
VA.
baby?
Talk to me. You feel me? Yeah.
Talk to give us your insight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think naturally females are a little bit more emotional, but there's also very emotional men. So I couldn't say,
Would you say that those very
you
emotional
know, be
men are being men or acting more like women?
I wouldn't say they're acting like women, but it's coming to a point where you're like, come on, bro, like cut that soft stuff or that crying out, like stop all the excuses, stop, like just tighten up. But then, I always got to realize, like, we all have flaws. Everybody's not gonna be how, I guess society wants them to be or how they should be. So even those men that do complain, that do act in emotional ways, I'm just like, all right, well, I can't. you know, I can't change them. They can only want to change themselves. But
Now,
you
we're not
know,
talking about changing anything. We're talking about like responses to situations. Like
I
when you
think,
respond emotionally compared to responding logically. Like, are you
right,
tapping into your feminine energy or your masculine energy?
probably
That's
feminine energy.
and that was the only point that I was making.
and
But
I don't.
we all should have masculine
We have
and
both.
feminine
We
energy.
have
Yeah,
both.
we should have both.
So
You know, in
then,
America, I think in the States, we kind of, especially for men, especially black men, we try to push that feminine energy out. And I think we should embrace that more because we need it more. Like, you see, you know, I'm just watching a video of the dude, this dude, rapper who killed somebody's cousin. And then the person's cousin that he killed retaliated and killed his grandmother and grandfather, shot them, and then he set the house on fire with
See,
them already dead
to
in the
me
crib.
that's feminine energy.
what? No.
I think that's,
To me that's feminine energy, and I'm gonna tell
I
y'all
guess
why.
what? Could you say because emotional, the reaction?
Because you're triggered by emotions. Somebody messed with
Right,
my girl, so now I'm mad and I want to go kill something. That's all
right, right.
feminine energy to me. Now you can the only masculine aspect of it is the violence part, but the whole reasoning behind it, it's all motivated by feminine
Is
emotional energy, in my
violent.
opinion.
I don't agree with that, but okay.
What is feminine energy to you, Kamari?
I feel like to me, when I think of about being a woman and I think about feminine energy, I don't think overly emotional. I think soft. I think loving. I think nurturing. I think smart. I think somebody who is going to sound advice, not emotional. When you have a problem and you go to your mom or you go to a woman, they're not like I don't think so. I think it's more of a softer, a more understanding way of things, and that's just my opinion on it. I think that maybe he's just responding like a spoiled brat. That could be something. I don't think because when you say responding like a woman or responding from a feminine standpoint, it's almost to me it just sounds like or feels like that like women
Right.
cannot control themselves. Women cannot make sound decisions, or women can't. No, we can because we've done it, and clearly, as independent as we've had to be for the past couple of years, I would assume that we are making the right choices and not emotional
Why would
choices.
you assume that?
Because
Based on where we are, you just said based on where we are in society, why would you assume that we're making the right decisions?
I'm saying women, not we. I
Why
said
would you assume women are making the right decisions?
because they've been having to be independent and they're taking care of themselves. So clearly, it's not something, something going right. And something, I'm not saying all,
This is okay. So
but
I've been online for
the
a minute.
characteristics that you just named, all those soft, loving, nurturing, all you did was name all the positive side of emotion.
Absolutely,
You did not name one negative. There's a yin and a yang. So all you did was focus on the positive. This example that I'm talking about just tends to focus on the negative aspect of being emotional. You just focused on the positive. So
but
you're just leaving one out.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. Like that's not just the women,
It's not
but
just something that women have. Just like women can have masculine energy, right?
yes, they can.
But they don't tend to have as much of it as a man.
And for me, and to be honest, when I'm in my masculine energy, it's defensive. When the only time that I've ever been called masculine is when I'm defensive, is when I'm like doing too much or when
Because you're illustrating the negative
so
aspects of masculinity.
okay.
There's positive and negative. You're being called out on you're being called out. I just logical reasoning, the ability to have a situation, be confronted, and be stoic.
Right. But
To evaluate certain things, to look at the big picture. Those are the positive aspects. You just brought up some of the things that you're illustrating that people are pointing out that are negatives, which is why it comes across as a complaint.
right.
But if you were to illustrate some of the positive aspects of masculinity, they wouldn't be complaining, or maybe I don't know. I don't know what they would be doing.
Both. If, like you said, if there's a yin and a yang to both sides of femininity and masculinity, then why not say because that rowdy side or that talkative back, talking back type of style for me, if that's my negative side on the masculine side, then why not just say he responded in the way that he responded out of character? Wrong. He responded
Because you're saying a yin and a yang is in a man and a woman. There's
like,
not a yin and a yang in a, you don't have a yin and a yang when it comes to, it's not 50-50. A yin and a yang is 50-50. When we look at the yin yang sign, you do not have 50% masculinity, 50% femininity. A woman, a female, has more feminine energy. A man has more masculine energy. So it's not like a 50-50 thing. What I'm referring to is the aspect of just masculinity compared to emotions, of a feminine side. That yin and yang, there's two different sides of it. There's positive aspects of being emotional. There's negative aspects of being emotional. There's positive aspects of being logical. There's negative aspects of being more logical. That's what I'm saying.
I
Women lean into their femininity, and maybe the problem is the fact that if you don't understand this, then maybe the problem is that women are not leaning into their femininity and men are not leaning into their masculinity. Because if we have a conversation and you can't sit here and just say very quickly, when I ask you, hey, who tends to be more emotional, men or women? For us to just not sit there and say, oh, women, and who tends to be more logical, men or women, for us just not to sit and say they're men.
I understand you and I hear you. I just don't agree with the statement.
What do you not agree with? I don't even think you.
Statement of
Listen to this. Oh, let me. What statement do you not
the
agree
only
with?
statement I did not agree with, which caused this conversation, was when you said he acted like a female.
So
He
what? Okay. So why do you not? Why do you not think that he responded?
because
Why
I
do
don't
you not agree with that statement?
respond to things like that. We may
Huh?
have we don't respond to things like that. I don't feel as though we do. I feel like we may take a moment and then get to business, but regardless of whether we take that moment, we never respond outwardly in a childish ass manner like that.
So you just made the comment that women never respond in a childish manner. These are the conversations that we have to have. She
No,
just made the comment that women never respond like this. Like this is how conversations with women tend to go. You just made the comment first.
we
You didn't like. Hold on. Let me break this down. First, you had an issue with me categorizing women with saying that he acted more feminine, more like women. Then you said, oh, because all women don't act like that. But then you sit here and say that women never, you use the word never, women never respond to situations like that. So
okay.
you can categorize all the women and say never.
Okay, so bring this around and be done with it. Um, we tend to, and I'm not going to say never because you take that as a keyword, but I feel like,
No,
yeah,
you said it. Like,
I
don't
words.
fix your words. You're a very intelligent person. You know how to pick and choose different words. Like you can't hold me accountable to saying certain words and then not want me to hold you accountable
No,
to using certain words.
you're accountable to your statement. Anyway, like I was saying, we don't tend to react emotionally first. I mean, like that publicly, not first, excuse me, publicly. I feel like we may have, like you said, I may have my emotions to myself, and then I go handle the situation in a firm, calm, thought about manner. We tend to do that more, or not more. We tend to do that. That's what I'll say. And I think the only thing I got upset with, not even upset with, but like was turned off by, was when you said that he was acting like a female. And I'm like, I don't feel as though we act like that, but or to the masses to where you can make that kind of statement. That just we don't have enough people in the chat to, or enough women in the chat to speak on this as well. But like I said, I just disagree with that statement. And maybe that's
Why? You
it. Maybe,
haven't said one reason
but
why you disagree with it.
it's not gonna be. I don't because I'm kind of like done
No,
with.
because no. You can't make a statement and then not have reasoning to support it.
But I'm saying I just want to bring it around to the fact that like
It's you don't have to bring it around. Just support your claim though.
I
Like
get
you don't have to be
that.
responsible for bringing the conversation full circle and coming to
We
a
don't
great conclusion. You don't have to do that. Just stand on your point and say why that's wrong.
respond in that manner. And that is not a feminine trait. I don't think that's how he reacted. That's me standing on it, and that's what I've said
So
for
you
like
said you don't think that that's a feminine trait?
what how I don't think that he responded feminine as a woman. I don't feel like he responded from a
Do
feminine
you
state.
think that he responded overly emotional?
I feel like he responded well. If we're talking about specifically the shoe store, he thought that he was trying to be a protector and a provider, and he just was being childish,
Do you
stupid.
think that he responded overly emotional? It was just a yes or no question.
Yes, but that was only because. But yes, there's nothing wrong with responding emotionally. That just
Who
doesn't.
said that there's wrong or right? We're just identifying the fact that it was overly emotional or not. Can we just start there? Do
It's
you think it was overly emotional?
emotionally or not. I just feel like just because you say women are more emotional doesn't mean that he responded like a woman. That just does not make sense for me. That does not.
Okay, so let's just say that. Did he respond? Was he overly emotional in his
I
response?
just don't agree with. I just don't agree
Was he overly emotional in his response?
because he was pushed to be that way because his
I'm
mother.
just asking a yo.
Because he's trying to
Was his response overly emotional? That's it.
make that point. I just can we just agree to disagree on the fact that I don't.
I'm just so you're not going to answer the question?
I said yes. Like
Okay, that's it. He was hold on. Beth said he got kicked off. Hold on.
yeah, finish this conversation with him because I feel
And
like
then they try to run from conversations rather than just having the convo, because once you can't have a supporting no, it's Kamari, you go on and post you the stuff that you post about, the stuff that you're engaged about, the conversation that we have are always circular conversations. We literally have conversations, you and I, what topic should we talk about? Every
right.
topic that we talk about, we've had a circular conversation about it 1,000 times. So it's not the problem that it's a circular conversation. The problem is that you don't feel that you can back up your statement right now.
No,
So therefore, you'd rather just run from the conversation.
okay, so I didn't let you finish, but are you done so I can say what I need to say?
Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just feel like after I say I understand what you're saying, I just don't agree with it. Doesn't mean that I need to be pushed against the wall with the conversation. Like,
What?
I feel like,
No, just
like
say why you don't agree with it.
we're just gonna agree to disagree. Like this.
Okay, yo, if everybody, listen, this is why this is such. I'm gonna tell you why Kamari's responding very feminine right now. I'm gonna tell you why. If every conversation that Kamari and I had was just, oh, let's just agree to disagree. If every conversation that we had, our show, our wake up show, would literally be 5 minutes, because it would be her coming on saying her statement, me saying my statement. Oh, I don't agree with this. Let's agree to disagree. And then we would only have a 5 minute show. The whole point of having conversation is to speak out, to dive in, to support whatever statement and argument that you're making and validate it in some type of way with some type of support. Now
But
you're sitting here. Go ahead.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You already stopped it. You already cut it off. You already showed the masculinity. Go ahead. Would you rather me say that? Masculinity?
Well, if I'm responding emotionally by
I
just
don't know.
this, so then what does that mean?
I don't know. You tell us.
Anyway, this is
This
just
is why, hold on. This
this
conversation is
yeah,
why
because I
as
get
soon as I start talking, she start talking. Go ahead, Kamari. You only got something to say when I start talking. Like as soon as I give you the floor, it's crickets. Go ahead.
oh, I'm done. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen.
Like, damn, as soon I literally be silent. And then as soon as I start talking, no, 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 no.
I just have to interrupt the BS, but go ahead.
I love it. I love it. That's why the show is what the show is. That's why this is the greatest conversation ever. But
Irk,
huh?
I say you irk my nerves
It's
because it's my thing. See, I can't help.
like, I can't make this up. I'm glad the 10,000 people in the building are seeing this right now. As soon as I start talking, she will cut me off. It's just how it goes. It's just how it goes.
No, it's just because like it's hard for me to just.
So say what you gotta say. Say whatever's on your mind. And then I'll follow up.
Okay, every conversation doesn't have to end in the agree to disagree kind of thing. If it is what it is, then we got to call it that. Like if I just disagree, then I just disagree, and if you don't agree with what I'm saying, then that's cool. But I also think that that's the part of having other people watching and all that, they can decipher through this. But at the end of the day, for me, how it sounded caused a reaction to be like, I don't think so. And I just don't think that that's the right statement to use. Now, if you want to stand by your statement, then fine. Who am I to say you're incorrect if that's how you feel? Um, but as for me and what I'm saying, to kind of, when I say like round it out, is to just say like I'm just not going to agree with that statement because I didn't like it. I didn't like how it sounded. I don't necessarily agree with it, and I don't stand by it because I feel like I don't always, like, my emotional side doesn't always come through like that. But if that's what you've seen, because our experiences are different, so maybe you've experienced the emotional side of a woman always be reactive like that. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I just don't agree with this statement, and that is all. And I'm
You
sta-
done? Oh, my fault. Wait, let me know when you're done. So I don't want to.
and I'm standing on that.
Okay. I want y'all, all that are listening, to pay attention to what she just did and what she just said. She gave all the reasons. She said, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it sounded. I didn't like the way it felt. Three things that have absolutely nothing to do with whether or not the statement is true or not. It's just about her feelings. She is literally showing y'all how women tend to absorb things. Everything was from an emotional aspect, to where she's talking about, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it sounded. I didn't like the way that it made me feel. That has nothing to do with whether or not the statement is accurate. So that was just another example of exactly how women tend to receive things compared to how men should receive things. And what's so funny is, this brings up the point of toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity, our favorite clubhouse that we did, the only
No.
one clubhouse that we did. It was a back and forth about toxic masculinity. I was the only one standing on this 2 years ago, saying that we do not have a problem with toxic masculinity. The problem that society has tried to call toxic masculinity is really men acting like females. It's a toxic femininity in men. There is no toxic masculinity. When they talked about men, wanted all these men looking to kill each other because, oh, you looked at me the wrong way, you stepped in my all of that type of stuff, that's feminine energy. That's feminine energy, because you don't feel that you're as much of a man. You feel that you still have to prove your manhood. You don't feel like a man. So therefore, when anybody threatens your quote unquote masculinity in any type of way, you feel that you got to stand on it because you have no foundation, because you're not standing 10 toes down in your masculinity. So you feel so threatened to where you need to elicit a super emotional, violent response.
Mm-mm.
So with Bez coming in, so that's how I see things. I don't ever see things as toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is something that these liberals tried to use in order to downplay a lot of the things that were happening in our communities, talking about, oh, it's toxic masculinity. How we have toxic masculinity when there's no men in our households? How do we have toxic masculinity when most of our men are growing up with female energy, moving like females? How do we have toxic masculinity? It makes no sense. But what they try to identify as toxic masculinity is just a man acting like a female, responding to issues like a female. So I guess Kamari turned her camera off. That's what they tend to do. But that's how I see stuff. Super emotional,
Can you
super
hear me?
emotional. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Is your mic on?
Can you hear me now? Hold on. I'm going to
Yeah.
go out and come back in. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you the whole time.
Yeah, I can't hear you though. Because I was just trying to say I disagree, but whatever. Um
And
but
the
also,
last point that I just wanted to address is, when you talk about agreeing to disagree, the issue is not disagreeing. See, anybody can disagree with somebody, but when you disagree with somebody and it stands, and when you really disagree with somebody for the right reasons rather than just emotional reasons, like I didn't like the way it made me feel, I didn't like it, I don't like the way it sounded. When you disagree with somebody based on principle instead of how things make you feel, then you actually have reasons to bring about to say, like, I disagree with it because of A, B, and C.
Well,
But
also,
when your A, B, and C are all emotionals reasons, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it sounded. I didn't like the way it made me feel. Those are only emotional reasons that you're disagreeing with it for. You're not disagreeing it with any logic or any principle that you disagree with. It's just, I didn't like the way it made me feel. It came across insensitive. I get it.
I also said I didn't agree with it, and I didn't.
But you didn't say why you didn't agree with
Wait,
it.
hold on.
That's the whole point.
I don't think it's not true, but I don't think it's true. I
But
definitely
you didn't say why you don't think it's true. Like if I
because I
sit here and say that a statement, if you say something and I say that it's not true, I'm gonna give you reasons
I gave you
as to
reason.
why. What were the reasons?
I said it wasn't true, and this is where I'm saying like that round and around. I said it wasn't true
No, no.
because
You
women do
can't
not.
give a reason for something not being true. The
Women
reason can't be that it's not true. What's the reason? Oh, because it's not
do
true.
not respond that way. But you can go back to 10 minutes ago to where I said it. Anyway, yeah, it does. It's not. I don't agree with that. It's not true. And then what we can do is make this a poll, and you can ask it on your story, and we can go from there. Because I don't agree with that, and I gave my reasons.
You did not give one
I
reason.
did
What's the one reason?
acceptable reason, but I did give a reason.
What's the one reason?
That women do not always react. Women do not react like that. Women do not react like that. Dak,
Yo,
don't. And you kind of okay. Anyway, it's 9:30 over there. It's 8:30 here. I just
yo, fellas.
agree. No,
This is why it's important. Black men, please be in your kids' lives. We need to incorporate a
don't.
certain level of logic into them. This is it's terrible what's happening to a lot of our young boys. I totally understand why Kamari would feel the way that she feels.
I don't know.
I totally get it. I get why she would feel the way that she feels because she feels with her emotions. So I totally get it.
But
We can't hear you. I'm not sure. I want to be able to hear what you said, but we can't hear you. I'm sick. Yo, see, she's getting upset. We really can't hear her. Like,
emotional response. This is the
hold on. Baz, I'm gonna mute you for a sec just so she could talk. Go right ahead.
what I'm saying is I'm not. You're trying to bring out an emotional response, in which would prove your point, but I'm not there. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't have to respond to you and be like, "Oh, you're wrong," and women don't. No, because then that would prove your point. But here's the thing: I don't think that we always respond to things like that, and I just feel
That y'all
like
always respond like that.
we don't.
Who said that y'all always respond?
I'm
I
just
agree that
saying,
y'all don't always
say
respond
that
like
that's a feminine thing or a feminine, like he's responding like a female. It just that don't even sound right. But whatever. Like I said, I'm gonna let
So what
Terrell.
does responding like a female sound like? Like
He
what does responding like a female look like? How do females
he
respond?
sounded like somebody having a tantrum. But what? Say that again.
So if you saw a grown man having a tantrum, what kind of things would come to mind? Like what would you say?
It's
What would you
almost
think
like
about that man?
like it's almost like saying like, oh, you talk white. You know, when people say that, like, oh, you talk like a white person, like as if white people are the only people that speak proper English or whatever the case is. It's
No,
some,
they just tend to speak it more
but
than what our culture is.
okay. See, he cut you cut off too, right?
I
Oh,
admit I cut off.
okay. Oh, I
Just
didn't.
like you, right?
I didn't know you admit. I didn't know you.
Yeah, I admit to cutting off. You got to cut off BS, like you said. You just said it. That was your words.
Anyway, y'all. So what I was saying is that's not a true statement. So if somebody says that, you almost need to correct them and be like, "What? Like, no, you sound crazy saying that." So that's the same thing to me. Like, oh, he acted like a female.
Oh,
Or
what's not true about your statement?
that's true to you.
What I'm asking,
If
what
somebody
statement?
says, oh, you talk like a white person, and it's just somebody speaking clear English, that's true.
Let me ask you this question.
No,
Let
just
me
answer
let me
that,
ask you a question. I don't
right.
know if it may be true. It may be true in certain situations. It may be true. Like what
But this is
how do you expect? So let me ask you a question. We all got a lingo, right?
we all have a lingo.
We all have a lingo, right? black people sound some type of way? Can you on the phone? Can you on the phone when you get a phone call from somebody? Can you maybe have a good understanding of whether or not that person's black or white just by speaking to them?
In most cases, yes.
How?
I mean, we have a different sound too. Like even if I'm speaking to you on the phone, right? And you're
So
speaking,
when somebody says you sound like a white person, what is
no,
wrong with that?
I think that that's completely wrong. What I'm saying is, if I'm shut up. This is why you
Yo,
drag things out.
yo. Now
Exhausted
we dragging stuff out just
because
because
I'm exhausted and now I'm
now
responding.
she's exhausted.
But what I'm
Bez,
saying
Bez,
is
what you got on this? Bez, talk to us, man.
About
he's
what? Sounding
exhausted.
black and white?
I don't know. Just chime in, bro.
I
Exhausting.
mean, I know what Kamari talk about because when I've definitely heard people who speak properly be, equated to sounding white. And then you don't even gotta see them. I mean, you see them in person, you're like, oh, you sound like a white person. Just
Just
because
like
they
you get
speak
grades
in,
like a white boy, right? Like you get good
just because,
grades like a white boy.
right. And so if you speak to somebody on the phone, yes, I think you could tell the difference, like Mari said, also like because the sound in the voice. I know when I'm speaking to a black female, I know I'm speaking to a white female, not just because their intellect, their dialect, but just by how they sound. I know, I can kind of tell the difference just by their voice. But I think when people say you sound like a white person, it's not more of their voice, it's more of their grammar, the way they use their words, what words they're using, etc.
So if you had a white boy, let's think of a white boy. What who would it be like? White Mike or I don't know,
White
white
Mike,
boy, a
yeah,
white boy.
white boy.
Uh, uh, well, I'm just saying because if you heard White Mike sound and if White Mike was talking and somebody said like, "Yo, you talk like you black," would you say would you disagree?
I would be like, what is that supposed to mean?
But Bez,
But
would you disagree?
I mean, but no, it's not
it's
about
slang,
we
because
understand.
the slang he used,
Understand
the
it.
the
It just
the
does not make
slang,
My
the way
point
he
exactly.
talks. Yeah.
sense. What time
So
is
so based on if white people tend to talk more as what we quote unquote proper, do
do
you
you get
think that
no,
huh?
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Do
Sorry.
you think white people tend to talk more proper than black people?
Depends on where you're from. Cause shoot, I've been traveling and I hear some white people in certain places. I'm like, God damn,
They sound country, right?
sound terrible. Like just
It's
like they have a third grade education come out of it. I don't want to say that because plenty of people with third grade education still are able to speak well.
So it's a so
Um,
you just hold up, Baz. You just brought up the point that education plays a role in it.
and the way you speak,
You just brought up the point that I just said, do you think white people tend to speak more proper than black people? And you said, well, shoot, I don't know. I've been a lot of places, like you be some places, and these white people sound like they only got like a third grade education.
right?
So you're associating the education with what's proper or not. So if black people
With
tend to not
yes,
be as educated,
with sounding proper, yes.
got baby, you are. Oh my goodness, Dak. Can we smoke on this thing, or will you get kicked off?
huh?
I need to smoke.
Light up, mama. What you talking about? It's
Kicked
legal
off.
The last thing
in
you need
half
to be
the
doing is
states.
smoking right now.
No, because I just
Early too, yeah. I don't know if I can smoke this early because you know I had me. I can't smoke really while I'm driving anyway, but I
Yeah.
gotta be shut down for the day.
Come on now. You want to smoke? You could barely get your thoughts across now. You want to smoke?
don't.
Oh shoot!
See, he gets
But
disrespectful.
going back to the energy. So I don't want to tie gender with energy. I don't want
Energy
to
how?
say that
I'm
with
Kamari just
masculine,
agreed with you. What are you talking about?
feminine, with masculine, feminine energy. Like I don't want to just say because of the dude is acting soft that he's a woman or he's acting like a female.
No, he's just tapping into his feminine energy.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I don't want to equate the two to say, oh, because he's soft, he's acting like a woman, or because she's hard,
No,
she's
the
acting
only
like
person
a
that
man.
said soft was Kamari. As a matter of fact, Kamari used soft when she was describing some of the things that women are. She was celebrating. She said soft and she said nurturing, right? I keep receipts, Kamari. You said that, right?
I did, but you know, when I was saying soft and when you asked what feminine energy was, and I soft, I meant like soft,
But
not
I don't think that's women though, because I consider myself to be, I can be soft and nurturing.
right.
Um,
Listen,
you
I did,
know,
A woman,
I worked at
you're,
I worked at a group home. I worked in schools, like so I had to have that soft and nurturing side with them. But I also had the other side where I mean I'm disciplined. Like, nah, we're not just allowing X, Y,
but
and Z to go down. Like,
because we exude both to me, and it's like, oh, you're acting like a female here, and then you're acting like you're, you're using all aspects of yourself. But
yo,
you're
I don't, yo, these
I think that goes back to
conversations.
like when boys cry, they say, "Oh, you acting like a girl, stop crying." Like,
and
why does that have to be? No, like everybody cries. You don't gotta equate the action with being a male or the gender.
I do.
see, that's
I don't know. I do. You're
So
not
if
gonna
your
sit
son
here
was
and tell.
crying, you don't have an issue.
If my son was crying, if I had two kids, a girl, a son, and a daughter, and my son can't cry as much as my daughter
oh my
because
god.
because and this is the problem with when and Bez, you notice Bez didn't say, "Oh my God." Kamari said, "Oh my God."
Because
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement because I'm going to give reasoning rather than just saying why or not I agree or not. My son can't cry as much because I'm preparing him for something different than what I'm preparing my daughter for. My son is going to have to face different types of challenges in the world than my daughter. So therefore, I'm not going to raise them the same. So that applies in all areas across the board. So from an emotional aspect, my son cannot afford to lay in his emotions as much as my daughter can. So that's why I would have an issue with it if my son was crying as much as my daughter. Period. Now, please tell me how and what y'all disagree with that.
I have no comment because I feel like that's just gonna drive you into a wall, and I'm just
But
gonna
then,
let you.
but then you gotta teach your daughter the same. Like, she shouldn't be crying either. Like,
Nah, my daughter, I want my daughter to be soft. She's supposed to be all these things. I don't want the world. A man has to be hardened
but
to
why does
deal with this
crying?
world.
So why you think crying equates to being soft?
Crying is an emotional response to something. I'm reading a book, yo. I'm literally reading. Hold up. Let me grab this book. Y'all familiar with Marcus Aurelius, the guy in
Yes.
Gladiator? Literally he practiced something called stoicism. So there's 5 ways that people deal with setbacks. Hold on. Let me get the book.
But you can't know what hard is without being soft. You gotta have both. You can't
Listen,
have just one. You can't have one without the other.
after that shit, we gotta smoke on. You pushed me into a wall. I'm just listening at this point.
You know, as much as it sounds good, you want to have that at your young boy, but he's still a human at the end of the day, and he still
Like y'all,
should be
you know
able
what's funny? You know
to
what's
feel
funny?
his emotion.
You know what's funny? I grew up with a father that tapped into his emotional energy. You know what I'm saying? My dad kissed me, my dad hugged me, had all of this stuff. Like this is what
Oh,
I
that's
was
soft.
raised with.
That's
Huh?
soft.
No, it's leaning
That's
into
soft.
it's certain feminine aspects of it. It's some of it is soft. Some of it is soft. See what y'all are missing is the fact that every men and women have feminine energy. A man just cannot afford to
Yes.
have the same
I,
amount of feminine energy as a woman. Just like a woman shouldn't have more masculine energy than a man. You can have certain aspects, certain situations are going to call for that out of you. However,
but
overall,
every
men,
but
go ahead.
everybody's different. Everybody
Everybody is
everybody
different,
it's
and
trillions of people
everybody's the
out here. You
same.
can't
As
expect all
much as
men.
you could, as
You
much
can't
as you
have the
could say
same all
everybody's
men.
different, everybody's the same.
Oh no, yeah, we all the same, bro.
We're the same.
Our ego. So we allowed our ego to kind of determine who we are, but we're really not our ego. Like you said, we're all the same. We all are controlled by our breath. We all have a heart rate. We all have veins that blood flow through. Like, we all have other things beyond our ego. That's who we really are. But then once you get the ego into play, that's when it comes to now the dynamics of how men should act, how women should act. I can't expect all men to act a certain way, and I can't expect all females to act a certain way because there's trillions and billions of people out in this world.
Why
And for
can't
me
you
to
expect that?
because you're gonna be let down. Anytime you have high expectations as such, you're always gonna be let down.
Not at all. And
You're,
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you an example.
100%.
I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example. I expect Black people to continue embracing our trash culture. I expect Black people. If you would have asked me 20 years ago whether I expect Black people, you know, that ranking system that just came out with people in America, with different Americans, where Indians were on top and Black people were on the bottom. I could have told you 20 years ago that I expect Black people
That's how I was gonna be
to be at the bottom, and I will not be pleasantly surprised. The problem is when we put expectations that don't align with reality. There's we can expect that all women in high school, that the majority of women in high school are gonna like that same dude. The dude that's most popular, the dude that's either, you know, the best player on the basketball team, football team, lacrosse team, soccer team, they're gonna get the most girls. You can expect certain things that align with reality and not be disappointed. When we get disappointed, it's because we're expecting certain things. Huh?
We can expect to lose the bicycle every time we suit up.
Yes. And you'll be right 99% of the time. But because Black people want to more so, see, that's the logical response. The emotional aspect is, oh, well, you know, they could win. You know, it's 1 out of 100. But if they play them 100 times, they could just approach it every time with 1 out of 100 and hope to win. No, they're playing 100 times. You're losing 99 of those times. I'll go based on the logic. If I'm betting money on whether or not Montclair is gonna beat Bosco, who you betting your money on?
I'm betting on Bosco. You damn right.
So now remove the money. Now you have more freedom. Now you have more freedom to be. Oh, well, I think Montclair is gonna win. Yeah, because there's no bread up. There's no accountability that comes along with it. There's no loss associated with it. But when you have a loss associated with it, it requires you to approach it from a more logical standpoint. So let me hold up. Let me read this shit. So they were talking about the stages of grief, and it was a stoic. So y'all familiar with stoicism?
I heard it before.
Yeah, so it's like stoic. So pretty much a lot of people associate it with having no emotional response, but it's really just eliminating all like the negative emotions out of somebody's life. But a lot of people will look at it as just like, oh, they have no emotions. So they're talking about the 5 stages of grief. Here's the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and number 5 is acceptance. And they were talking about a stoic. And they said that when you go through the grief process, that a stoic doesn't look at the 5 stages of grief. They'll look at the first 4 and say, you know what, I'm just going to skip past the first 4 and go right to the step 5 of acceptance and just accept it. It is what it is. Somebody passed away. We got to accept it and move forward. So that's that person. That's that person deciding to just accept something rather than going through all the 5 or the other 4 stages of emotion. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's I don't think that you need. I think that certain.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And I think women. I don't want a woman. I don't think that it's even healthy for women to just go right to acceptance. Like I think women need to experience more emotional.
No. I think we all need to do that, bro.
I disagree.
I think we all need to do that.
Nah, I disagree. Because I don't think that. I don't think it does. I don't think it does anything.
See, so many times I think people get so caught up into, like you said, losing. Like I don't want to be insensitive about certain things, but losing somebody, losing a loved one, right? I'm at a point where now I'm just like, yo, everybody on this earth is going to die. Like, why aren't we accepting it the way we accept birth? Again, you can't have one without the other. So I don't want to just tie that to men and saying, yeah, move to that stage. I think we all need to move to that stage to have that acceptance. Like, yo, everybody's going to die, and if somebody does die, like we don't need to hold on to it and keep grieving for, time at the time at the time, it's time to let it go and continue with life because that's what life is about. You know, we can't just hold on to things that no longer exist.
See, y'all are saying two different things. I thought Kamari thought that you was about to agree with her, but you're
No.
actually saying two opposite things, right?
No, when I said I'm only listening to what he's just saying right now. I think people go through those stages at different times. Like so, some people may approach death in the beginning as like, you know what, life moves on, and then 6 months from later have an emotional breakdown about that person. And I think that there's nothing wrong with having all sides to that, because you're gonna go through it. But that's all I was.
Nah, you don't have to go through it.
You do, but
See,
I,
this is what's so funny. You're telling somebody else what they have to go through, and
I
Bez just sat here and said, "Nah, we should just skip to the acceptance stage."
but that doesn't,
So,
because you want to do that doesn't mean
But I'm also telling people what they should be doing as well by saying skip to accept the stage.
so then y'all are both proving my point. You choose what you want to go through. You choose what you feel that you need to go through based on the outcome that you're looking for. If you feel that you're more of an emotional person to where you need to get that out and just kind of go through your different stages, then cool. But if you're in a different position, maybe you can't afford to go through those stages. Maybe you need to just skip it. And Kamari's looking at me like it's
my facial expression.
like what about that? What about that do you disagree with?
Everybody approaches different things differently.
Okay, I just said that. So what do you disagree with?
Bro, this is the part. So what I'm saying is, just because this is happening doesn't mean that like I'm just trying to make it like trying to bring together the whole this is acting like a female thing. Like that's the part.
See, this is where you've clearly been triggered to the point where it's presented a roadblock for you to bring in new understanding. And when I say that you've been triggered, you're still talking about acting like a female. No, it's responding to a situation in a more emotional way that is more aligned to how females process things rather than men. Now, I would argue that a lot of men tend to process a lot of issues and challenges in feminine ways, a lot of men, which is why our men are so triggered emotionally, which is why Black people in general are so controlled easily and manipulated through emotions, because we lack the logic, we lack the reasoning, we lack the male leadership in our households. So therefore, as we get older, we are so easily triggered and swayed with our emotions. That's my standpoint. We need more masculinity. We have a lack of masculinity, which makes sense. When you have most of our households in which there's no man in the household raising kids, then obviously they're going to grow up with a more feminine energy. So when we hear the term toxic masculinity, we're letting society manipulate us and play us as to the point where we feel like, oh, we need to cry more. We need to be more in touch with our emotions. We need Black men to be more vulnerable. All these different things that they're not pushing white men to be, but they're pushing Black men to be. And Black men don't grow up with a male in the household. So we're already, we have a, you know how they say vitamin D deficient? We are masculinity deficient, but yet they're still telling us that we have too much masculinity. They're playing with us, bro, and we just buy into it.
No, when I say we need more feminine, I meant more like I guess more like of an approach standpoint. Like when you say, when you go into a Black neighborhood, you could be punched up as soon as you walk there, especially if it's people that you don't know like that. And you can go to a white neighborhood and you don't feel that same type of tension. So when I say, I know for me, when I say like we need more like, I guess the feminine energy, that's what I look at as more feminine energy, as a more of a easier approach to, like I should be able to approach a Black man, a young Black man, just like I should be able to approach a white person. But we have like this hard intention where you walk into a Black neighborhood, you're getting ill grilled, you're getting looked at a certain type of way, and it's like, why are we like this? Like
But you
mothers,
see
we all
that as masculine, or you see that as feminine?
I see that as like more of a masculine trait. No,
See, I see that as feminine. See. This is the difference. This is the difference. Men, feminine energy. A female wearing her feminine energy is going to be different than a man wearing their feminine energy. Men, we know, are more violent creatures, but when it comes to a woman, I mean, a man, when I'm walking in the neighborhood and you clench up, to me, that's more like why black people tend to get emotionally triggered and want to kill each other. We see more black people, hunting each other, just like most other cultures do most crime against each other. But because they see that we're drawing the response, that's why you feel like, oh, you got to be clenched up in the neighborhood. But you're not looking at the root of the problem. The root of the problem is why you're fearful. Why you're fearful. And all those reasons why you're fearful, in my opinion, are triggered by emotional men. Men too emotional, men who are not comfortable in their masculinity, who feel that they need to prove themselves. See, for people who don't feel that they need to prove themselves, they don't get emotionally triggered as much as other men. You get what I'm saying?
right?
So
I
and
could agree with that. A lot of jokers out here feel like they got something to prove or they
If
need to
it's
prove
logic, yo,
something.
when good men are around good men, yo, it's bro, you don't have to worry about no cattiness. It's just men in a room just building, you know what I'm saying, having good convo, whether you would disagree or agree. It's just a convo.
It's
But
just
when you
men
have
being men.
But when you have feminine men enter that same conversation, overly emotional, doing so, and Kamari, she just don't understand. It's cool. When you have a man that has more feminine energy enter that same conversation, those conversations that may be considered as like hot topics, they're gonna be even more hot because you have a man that's coming in with a emotional response to everything rather than just looking at things from a logical standpoint. You tell me what you think, Bez.
no, what I was is
Now, I mean, I guess I could agree with that. Where men, I do like your point that being that they aren't in their masculine energy, they are acting a little bit more emotional. Uh, they are more easily triggered to do some shit because somebody looked at them or stepped on their shoes. I could just say I can kind of agree that that is like, but I want to say that's a. I don't even know what that is. I mean, I guess is it a female energy? If somebody like a feminine energy for somebody to react off of that, like you
Will
looked at
Smith.
somebody,
Will Smith.
heard somebody.
Will Smith is a perfect example.
Okay,
Again,
okay, yes, let's use that.
Will Smith.
Okay, that is. I guess that
To
is.
me,
But then it's
super
like I
feminine.
don't know.
Super feminine.
Yeah,
Super
that was weak.
feminine.
That was weak.
Weak. Weak.
I
However,
was
but
disgusted. But I
what
thought
did
it was
most
a show.
but
First of all, I thought
you
it was
saw
a
how
show.
most
Oh,
black women responded though. You saw how a lot
bro,
of black women responded.
Kamari. I talked to Kamari after that, and she
She like,
said,
oh
"I want
yeah,
my man to
he
do."
was heroic. He was all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. And that right there just proves the point, bruh. Like men are not looking at no man is looking at what Will Smith did as like, yo, that was weak. It was it
That
was
was
cowardly.
super weak.
We know that it was just because he's small. You wouldn't approach somebody else like that. Like, come on, bruh. Like, but women are out here looking like, oh my God, that's amazing. And that's the exact same reason because women still don't know how to pick dudes. That's the exact same reason why y'all picked the wrong dudes in high school, wrong dudes in middle school, and still picking the wrong dudes now. Oh,
Yeah, that. I mean, I thought it was all staged anyway, but it definitely was. Uh I thought it was all staged, but it definitely was an act of
it was weak.
feminine energy, I guess. Yeah, it was. They tried to make it like it was all macho, but nah, bro, that was
Ah,
corny.
corny.
Mar tapped out. I heard he's gonna edit it out. I gotta get on this live stream thing. I like this little John.
She getting her thoughts together. Oh, I downloaded this new platform, Melon. So now in the morning we can have y'all tap in with us.
Right. I was like, y'all gonna start doing this for
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I
But you
get
can't
tired
go
of
on
this.
YouTube with it.
Nah, we on YouTube, bro. You on YouTube. You been on YouTube this
I'm
whole
on
time.
YouTube. Oh, Oh, you can go back and look at this joint.
Yeah, you've been on the whole time.
Oh, I'm getting stage fright, man. I don't do all
Uh-huh.
this public stuff like that. I'm low key now, bro. I'm super low. Like, I don't know. I think, again, going back to the ego, like, I think so many people out here where we are controlled by the ego and we think we are really better and we just think that we have all this. I don't know. Like, I mean, there's so many, but again, there's so many different approaches where some people tell you you limitless and you're unlimited, da da da, and then some people, this life is just crazy. Like my views on life has changed. You already know. I went from Christian to Islam. Now I'm not even believing that there's a God. Like I don't believe there's a God that exists.
Bro, you are
I,
the guy, bro.
I believe in the God that created the world, but I don't believe there's a God that we pray to that makes things happen for us anymore. Like I think life just comes and goes.
Congratulations,
You
brother. You
know, you can have
graduated.
good things, you can have bad things.
Congratulations, brother. You graduated.
You know, my Christian sisters over there. I don't know. Like, I don't
Bro,
believe there's a
Kamari,
God in hell.
Kamari making all these faces. She don't even stand on Christianity. You said the
Ain't
other
none of
day
them.
you're not Christian no more. We
Shit,
can't.
you?
Can you hear her? Can you hear her?
Uh,
I keep telling her that we can't hear her. She think I'm joking.
maybe because when I think I know the last time you muted me, I was able to hear her after that.
All right, hold on. Let me mute her. Let me mute you real quick. Kamari, go ahead. Nope. Still can't hear you. Yeah, she gonna go out and come back in. But that's life, bro.
Life.
That's real life. Like people
Like
be,
my
yo,
story just
there's
asked me, like,
no.
why do you think like you how do you just go like that from one thing to one thing? I'm like, yo, I don't know, like just more of my experience, more just learning from other things and just reading and just other things are making sense to me now. You know, that
Can
doesn't
you hear
make
me
sense to
now?
me anymore.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can.
good.
Energy. God is energy, bro. Energy is God.
Okay, so here's my thing. I don't necessarily align fully with all Christian values, right? But I also believe that there is a God. So he said, like, you don't believe that there's anything up there and just life is what it is. I just don't agree with that. I don't
So I
think.
don't believe like when we pray, I made a Facebook status that said it's like who if God knows everything that you want, everything you need, everything, why are you praying? First of all, like why do people feel like if there's a God who created the galaxies, the planets, why do we feel like we have this connection with this God? We can just ask him for anything and he's gonna give it to us.
I
Oh,
think.
Like I don't
go. Oh, my fault, Mark. You go ahead. You go ahead,
Yeah,
and then I want to. Yeah.
I think that we have to align stillness and hearing because there are things that we do get. There are some
no,
inclinations
but
for
there's
putting.
Mark, I can tell you that you only like got 20% of the things you prayed for your entire life. If that, maybe even 10.
No, I think they
Because
all.
I know you didn't get everything that you prayed for. Don't go up here and lie to me.
Wait, no, can I finish?
Don't go lie to me. Don't go lie to God. You did not get everything that you prayed for in
No,
your entire life. You've
what
been
did I say
praying since you were
before?
a little girl.
Little girl, what did I say before? I get what I want, right? But I also understand that it's within the timing. It's also like you don't get everything that you want or you get everything that you prayed for because one, we may not need what we're praying for. That may not benefit us in the long run. But just to say that there's nothing that we're supposed to do, I don't believe that.
Yo, y'all can hear me on this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. All right, so Bez, I wanted to talk to you about that the other day when you said that you don't see the point in like praying to somebody as far as saying it out loud and like who are we talking to. I agree with you 100%, but the problem is when you're saying something out loud, you're not saying it for a God. You're saying it for you. Like you're saying it as an affirmation, as something
Oh no,
that the more you say things, the more it comes to fruition, the more that's just the energy that you're putting out there. So I agree with you as far as like I'm not saying it to some creator or anything like that. I'm saying it to
Right.
me. I'm putting it out to all the energy out here in the universe. I'm just letting y'all know what's coming my way, what I'm inviting, certain stuff that I'm inviting in, certain things that I'm inviting out. No different than how I dress. How I
Right.
dress is going to invite certain opportunities. It may turn off certain people, but it's still the same thing. So I'm just using my words to do exactly what I'm doing with my appearance, to give off a certain level of energy based on the energy that I want to receive back.
But every prayer isn't like
So I
every
think
prayer session isn't like, God, can I have this, or can I do this, or can I? It's not always a question.
yes, it
That's
is.
not the
Well,
point
not
that I'm speaking on.
so I know that's not the point. So that for you, I feel like when I say prayer, it's different between prayer and manifestation. I think it's different.
Right.
Prayer is when you
Right.
say at the end of the day, in Jesus' name I pray, Amen. And I
Nah,
think
but that's because
what you're
religions
saying,
took over prayer. Prayer wasn't no religious thing. Like religion just took over prayer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
right?
that's not prayer.
Because
Like
Jesus
prayer is
prayed,
prayer.
Jesus,
Religion with prayer is totally different, but it's just taking it over.
and Mark, I feel like going back with you, I feel like what was I about to say?
What?
Oh dang, shoot, I forgot. I just lost my train of thought.
Because I just pray that you will lose your train.
Oh yeah, you said that you don't believe people pray and ask for. So I think when most people pray, yeah, you're not maybe you're probably not asking, oh, can I have this job? But you're asking, can you bless such and such? I'm praying for my friends. I'm praying for my family. You're asking God to bless your family. You're asking God to watch over your family. These are things you're asking God to do. So it may not be asking God for
A
material things
material
or
thing.
for a promotion or something, but you're asking God to lead me. God, show me the way. You're still asking Him to do something for you, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and going back to like that, what you say about religion, like yo, even if y'all was to, most people would have prayed like that, most people are not living a lifestyle that would afford them that type of relationship. Like we got it so confused where we think, oh, you can just live however, and then ask God for forgiveness at the end of the day, and have this great connection with God. Like no,
No,
if
I
y'all
think
want to live, if people want to live for real, like the Bible, live like Jesus lived a life of real humility. Jesus lived a life of real humility, real humbleness. He was washing people's feet. He wasn't wearing and had all the jewelry. He wasn't doing all this extra stuff. He lived a humble life and lived off of less, and fasted and
feel
like
like
all. And people ain't moving like that. People
right.
think you can just move however,
The
and
goal.
oh, God's gonna bless us.
And that's the goal. And so in your time of prayer, you need to be focusing on being aligned with that aspect. But also you don't feel led, like no part of your life doesn't feel led.
Led where? Where am I going?
Like just led or guided or
Uh, Hold on.
mhm.
Do you feel that?
Yeah, sometimes I
Nah, I don't feel
yeah,
led. I feel like I'm going. Like I
maybe
used to feel led. It was a time when I felt led, but again, I think I was like naive in the fact that I was kind of caught up in something that really really didn't exist the way I thought it did.
yes,
Um,
ways to
again,
your
based off religion, right? Again, based off religion, there's a lot of people in this world that won't make it to heaven or hell based off of their belief.
right.
Like you don't believe as a Christian, you say you're not a Christian, but I'm gonna say, as a Christian woman, your faith will be telling me that you're not gonna see me in heaven because my faith doesn't accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior.
Right.
So being that, there's no like
Yeah, let's talk about that.
you feel me? Like so you can like, and that's where I got to the point. It's like, well, how can I say that if you don't pray facing Mecca, if you don't pray 5 times a day, if you don't pray doing this, you're wrong? How can I say that?
That's where I'm saying that is all man-made stuff too. But I also think that you don't have to subscribe to that either. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't align with one.
What do you
I
align
don't
with?
align with one way of thinking because I feel like life has been so complex, or you live. I feel like we've lived so many lives in this one life already that it's too much of a life. I mean, I guess we go through too much in life to just align with one way. I don't think that that's possible. I don't even think that that's accurate.
What you mean by that though? What you mean to
I
align
don't
with just
think
things one way?
like, oh, I'm going to be Christian for the rest of my life. That, but
There's
I don't
plenty of people
think
who
that,
do that.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, I don't think that that makes sense to do. I don't think with aligning with, I don't, that's why
But why? But why though? This is what I was talking about earlier, Mar.
I
Like,
feel
why?
like,
If you see it work for other people, why would you think that it's not meant for you? I'm just wondering.
because I don't feel as though that is actually truth to one way of thinking for the rest of your life. I don't think that that's absolutely truthful to do in religion when it comes to religion and how God is. I don't see him one way. I don't see him as okay, I made a mistake now I'm going to hell because I didn't make this one decision. No, I don't see life as that. And so that's why I don't
You want to be free. You want the ability to be free. That's what you.
to
That's
be
what it
free,
sounds like.
but align with the fact that I believe there is a God and that I'm being
So
led in some aspects. But like I said,
so you believe? Come on, so do you believe that there's a heaven or hell?
no, I spoke about this before. I don't.
Okay.
I feel like shit. Like some parts of Earth, we experience heaven on Earth and we experience hell on Earth too.
Hell or yes, it's a mindset really.
Yeah. So I
And
don't know if that's the exact way.
I
Like,
don't think there's a destination. Okay.
yeah, I'm just saying.
Now
Like,
I was
I
gonna
don't
ask
know
you, how do you think if you do believe that? How do you think you get there? But you okay? You don't believe that, so
because unless somebody has come back from the dead and was like, "Hey, yo, heaven is lit or hell is not where you want to go. Get your life together." I think maybe that's when I would probably believe. You know what I mean? But mm, that's just I don't believe that.
yeah,
I
like I
don't.
said,
I
I'm
don't.
more
I don't believe in it or not believe in it. I don't even think about it. Like I don't care.
I
right.
mean, I think one,
I'm at a point where
yeah, go
Like
ahead.
like I'm solely focusing on like this life right here. Like that's all I can afford to think
if
about
I
right
die,
now.
listen, if I die in this truck, just make sure they cremate me, and I want my ashes sprinkled in the water. I want my ashes sprinkled on the track, and I want my ashes sprinkled in the grass, in the dirt. Sprinkle them in all those three places. If I was to die today, if that's what I'm gonna die one day, and I can't, I don't want nobody to hold on to me. I don't want no big burial service. I don't want the pastor
I
speaking
don't.
about how good I was. I don't want none of that. Because just as I was good, I was definitely bad. Just know, as I help people, I definitely stole from people. Like, so I'm gonna talk about all my goods, and you ain't gonna talk about my bads as well.
Right. And everybody has a bad, have done bad things or whatever. And so that's the thing where I don't align with the fact that because you did all these bad things or you've turned over to be good, like it just determines like a heaven or hell that you go to. Um, and I also believe there are things that are unforgivable. So it's like I don't align with the fact that like, oh, everybody gets to go to heaven and just say forgive me. But I think also when it comes to that, I'd assume you align your whole life, you become a new creature, as they say, a new person
Yeah,
in
you're
Christ.
born again.
And so that person is dead. So that is where, some people may look at that. Those things that I did were bad or who I used to be in my whatever years is dead. And if you look at it as if that person is dead, and that's why I mean we get so many lives, because you do have to look at it like that. Like there's some truth in a little bit of everything, and there's some BS in a little bit of a lot of stuff too. So I think just to say I'm going to align myself one way for the rest of my life, it doesn't make sense to how versatile life is and the way it fluctuates. But yeah,
So the I guess the argument against that would be, even though there's certain situations that you may face, all different types of situations, at least aligning yourself with a particular faith gives you a foundation to address all of those different challenges. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
and it also creates a foundation for the next generations, because I also do believe that if you're not going to align yourself with with a religion, that it's important for you to create one within your own family structure, because what are your next generations going to go off of?
So here's the thing. I think, some stuff works and some stuff doesn't work. Some stuff may work for the people that you have now, but then your next generation of family, that may not work for them. Just like like I always say, what may work for your first child may not work with your second child. So constantly rewriting based off of what you're seeing. So again, like when people
But eventually you're going to have to turn the book in, right?
say that again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's certain things that you're gonna have to say. Okay, this is how we move. This is how we operate. And then each generation, they may say, okay, that was cool, but it didn't work for us. So now we have to rewrite it. So I think, yeah, it just gets passed down. But does there need to be something? Maybe, maybe not. But maybe just that belief in knowing that there's a God, that you're being led, and that there's some type of help or assistance above you or around you, whatever. Some people think it's ancestors. It's like whatever you may believe. It. I think just there's no way of saying I can't believe and I don't believe and really just like stand on that. But there are people who do. So just for me, I just think that it's almost impossible to go through this life and not believe in a God at all. But I have to keep on living. That's another thing I heard this lady say. Just keep on living, and you
So what God do you believe in, though?
you just come to different things. I just believe that there's this huge being. I don't know exactly. And that is the beautiful part about me searching, because, well, not necessarily searching, but also like saying, like, I don't choose to subscribe to one thing or a different thing. I'm just going to let life be and see what I feel. And do I feel like I'm being led or guided towards one area versus another? I feel like I am. I feel like there is a God, just based off of the things that I've gone through and in life and how where I am now. So I think that is just my thought on it. But there's been times where I've had moments of doubt and be like, heck no, there can't be. This is so bad. But it's like that's what I'm acting like, maybe just like 100% off of just like not thinking. Like I've just been going through right now, like the fine print. I've just really been seeing God show up in the fine print. But sometimes you need to get still and quiet. And maybe that's what prayer is, just getting still and quiet and trying to see or allow that being to give you insight. So I don't know. I'm in a discovery space with it, but I'm enjoying it because it's allowing me to see that there's something. So cheers to that. Everybody's quiet now. Did I put y'all to sleep? Oh no, is it over? Am I all alone? What happened? I guess we'll stop it. I can't hear anything. I can't hear you, but I can see you. I can't hear anything.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Now what I was saying is, do you have the privilege? Like, is it because you have the privilege to not follow anything? And what I mean by that is, who are you leading right now?
What do you mean? Who am I leading?
Yeah, who are you leading? If there's anybody that you're leading right now.
I feel like ultimately myself, but well, not ultimately. Like I feel like there's myself, like I'm being led, whatever, or guided. Um, and then people who I influence, and that could be friends, that could be my siblings, whatever.
But is there anybody that's directly like you're responsible for, like their well-being?
Oh no.
So that's what I mean when I say you have the privilege to not follow anything. You have the time right now to figure stuff out on your own, to where you don't necessarily need to have something. Because when I say, like, how can you teach without like a book, you know what I'm saying, without something to teach from, or without some type of foundational principles? Because if you have people that you're leading, then you may not, just like you said, it may be ideal to keep rewriting that book over and over, because you're constantly learning stuff and relearning stuff. However, sometimes you got to play the game. And if you got to go out there and play, you can't just wait for, well, shoot. Well, let's make sure that, this is running like this play and this play. Nah. We just got to run the plays that we got. And we got to teach people the plays that we got. We can't just say, oh, well, this may work for this may work for that. Nah,
No.
sometimes you got to stand on it, right?
So what I'm saying is that okay, so if I was a mother, right, or a wife, and I had this this tribe, whatever, what I'm saying is my relationship with God, when I said being led, or when I said, when I'm praying, or when I'm in prayer, being guided to do things and to move in a correct way. So when that happens, or when I have a child or a family to look after in some way, I will be guided and given the play by God, or who I see as God, as to what to do, as to which way to move, as to what to say, how to respond. So when I look at God, and I look at God from a source point, I look at it from a point of somebody who gives me direction, who tells me, who gives me an inkling or an instinct to move a certain way, I think the play will be there. But I also feel like, that shifts based off of who you're dealing with, but certain things may stand true for a long time. So it's not that I'm not being guided at all, or not being directed, or there's no playbook, but it comes with the opportunity and the responsibility that I'll have. So right now, I don't have the responsibility of being a mother or a wife or whatever. So when I do, I believe the plays will come based off of my relationship and being in alignment with who I see as God.
Yeah, but how are you teaching it? I'm just going back to the point as far as like when you say like, oh, I don't want to subscribe to this, I don't want to subscribe to that. That all sounds good, but how do you teach something? Like
You
once you have to teach it, you just teaching from like, hey, just listen to what I tell you off
no,
my experience? Like, you know what I'm saying?
no, you
Like,
teach.
what's the foundation?
One, you lead by example. You teach prayer. You teach people. Your child will have their own
Sorry.
have their own because eventually they'll let themselves individually from you. So it's teaching how how you move and lead by example. So that's what I think.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. It's all different. Yo, let's jump on a little bit later. I like this, yo.
Yeah. 3 hours later,
I gotta
now
run
you
though, but
gotta run.
yeah. But yeah, we could jump on. Matter of fact, let me just jump on from my phone. I just gotta turn my
Yeah.
computer off.
Just handle your
Nah,
day.
nah, nah, nah. Let's jump right back on. Can you set it up and send me the link now that you got it? The
No,
pigeons are back out, but I
I'm
I
going.
just gotta go on my phone.